I remember a time when I was getting into this manifestation, law of attraction, and really being more awakened in my consciousness, that I was trying to get better results in my life, but it seemed like I had chronic doubt, right? And doubt is basically disbelief. I knew this stuff worked, and I knew the laws of the universe were a real thing. I felt it in my heart that this stuff was real. But for some reason, I would have doubts and I would have worries about whether I could actually manifest the physical results I was looking for, whether it was financially or whether it was in love or whether it was any material object or business success. It doesn't matter. I would have these chronic doubts when I was really looking at it. So what would happen for me, I was constantly doing affirmations in the mornings, right? Doing my pages and pages and pages of affirmations. And I would believe while I was doing those affirmations, but then as soon as I stopped reading my affirmations, stopped doing my visualization, my gratitude, whatever the technique was at the time, I would go into this disbelief mode. And I'm sure you already know law of attraction stuff very well by now, that when you disbelieve and you put a lot of energy of absence into the thing you desire and intend to bring into your life, you will attract more absence circumstances, absence situations. So there was a critical moment for me that I knew I had to increase my belief. And intuitively, it came to me one morning. I woke up and I was doing my affirmations. And I said, that's it. I have to increase my belief that manifestation actually works. So I went down a series of ideas of, how could I increase my belief? And sure, you could do affirmations around, I believe manifestation is so good. And, you could affirm it and you could visualize it. But there was something else I took it to, and that was actually studying the invisible forces around us. Because that's what I couldn't wrap my head around, how manifestation is actually possible, right? So if I intend to manifest an extra $5,000 or $10,000 or a new client or a partner or a house or whatever it is, it seems ridiculous that it's even possible. It seems unfathomable that that can actually be a thing, and there's actually a so-called universe helping you out, because you can't see it, right? You can't see it with your eyes. So we are programmed as a society that if you can't see it, it's BS, it's ridiculous, it's not actually real. Right? And that's how I was constantly feeling on a daily basis when I was being honest with myself. So I started to study a little bit more, like I mentioned, around the invisible forces of the universe. I started to study how a radio works. Now, how does that pertain to manifestation at all? Well, what does a radio do? Radio is basically working invisibly, right? There was a time and age, not that long ago in the grand scheme of history, where the concept of a radio would have been ridiculous and preposterous to an everyday person. Think about people in the 1800s, for example. If you told them that you're going to build a box or have a box that can actually tune into a frequency called AM or FM or whatever it is, it can actually tune into a frequency, and there's waves in the air that allow us, through a station over there, allow us to actually change this energy that you can't see into something you can hear, and it's what we call music. The person would be like, what earth are you coming from? You're ridiculous. Go lock yourself into a mental institution, right? You're crazy, you're insane, right? Why wouldn't they believe that? Because they've never seen it before. It seems ridiculous. It seems so out of this world. Same thing goes if you showed somebody a cell phone, right? A long time ago, before cell phones were a thing, really not that long ago at all. You show somebody a wireless cell phone that's not plugged into the wall, right? We all remember those phones that were connected by the wires, and some people still have those landline phones, right? That's all connected based on wires, which still is kind of ridiculous. Okay, wires plugged into the wall, ridiculous, meaning very hard to comprehend how we even do that. But then you're going to have this telephone that has no wires, and it's just a single little device, and you can actually call anybody in the world around the entire globe. It doesn't matter how far away they are. You can call them wirelessly through this ether and be able to talk to somebody in China, talk to somebody in India, talk to somebody in Europe, talk to somebody in the United States if you're living elsewhere, South America, you name it. And near instantaneously, when they talk verbal words, you're going to hear on the opposite side of this device their words near instantaneously. Now, again, for you and I, we're used to the world. We're programmed with this world that we have wireless devices all the time and we take it for granted, right? It's just a part of our society, right? But to people a long time ago, they would have said, "You're ridiculous. There's no way that could actually happen. There's no way." There are great scientists throughout history of time, including Tesla, that was labeled ridiculous for so many ideas of the invisible side of physics, because classical physics always said this stuff is the only thing that's real. This physical body, the material objects, the books behind me, the bookshelf, this dragon statue, all of these things are considered the only real thing in this world, right? But when we start to study things like quantum physics and other signs of science that allow us to study invisible things, we start to really see how vast our universe is and how much it actually works with the things we cannot see. So why was I going down this whole area of studying this stuff? Because manifestation works the same way almost as a cell phone or a radio or other things that are invisible, like the Wi-Fi. You know, you're listening into this video right now on YouTube in some sort of way that says, you know, you're watching it through Wi-Fi or data from your phone or whatever the connection is for you, right? Your mind works nearly the same way, okay? We are in receptivity to these electronic waves, if you will. Now, nobody really knows what thought waves are. I like to consider it a form of electricity, but you consider whatever you would like, whatever you study, and whatever you believe, okay? So we have these thought waves all around us in what we call this ether or universe, okay? And in this universe, we have all of these thought waves are invisible, right? We have these thoughts that you cannot see. And we attract thoughts that are like harmony with where we're at. And that's how our brain works, right? It's an electronic place that allows us to receive through our mental capacity, our mind, our mental side. So that's how this stuff works. And all of us are connected in an energetic sense, a deeper sense that you can't see, okay? So what we call a subconscious or unconscious or a universal mind, we are all connected, right? So that's how telepathy works. It's how these different things work that you can literally connect to another mind invisibly. Now that's even shown that when you're standing in line or you're maybe in the mall and you're just standing there and then you feel like something on your neck or you feel something like there's an energy, right? And then you look really quick and then somebody's looking at you. Maybe somebody you knew, you know, not something weird. So somebody you knew, they're staring at you and they're like, that looked like you from a long, so I was just staring at you, right? And they have so much mental focus that you literally felt their energy, right? That's just a prime example, one tiny example, that things are happening invisibly with our mind, okay? So as we begin to study all of the invisible things around us, you start to increase your belief. It's a #1 technique on the face of the planet. It's going to allow you to believe more in this manifestation, believe more in your capacity to manifest your intentions, your desires, whatever it is. Because again, we are all connected universally. And what happens really is when people say we're co-creating with the universe, really what's going on, and it's really unfathomable for a human being to understand fully, but we can at least generalize it, you know. Around us here, okay, all these minds are working all together. And it's like, if you say, I want and intend to manifest $10,000, then you put in a primary statement of I now have it, because that's how you manifest, okay? You instantly, when you feel it to be true, link up with the right mind, with the right person, with the right opportunity. And over time, okay, there's no real art of manifesting everything physically instantly, okay? What happens though is instantly you're going to start to feel the shift within you, and that's the instantaneous manifestation you're looking for. What starts to happen is you're going to be aligned with the right thing at the right place at the right time. And it's what we call the bridge of happenings or bridge of events that unfold between now and the receiving of what you desire. So that comes over time. It could take 10 minutes, it could take an hour. I've had many of my clients manifest literally within 12 to 14 minutes the things because they were so in harmony with it that they got a call unexpectedly, boom, they got the new client. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes it's a few hours for my clients. Sometimes it takes a few months to a year to manifest specific things, even for some of my clients I've coached for a long time, because there are certain gestation periods and readiness energies you need within and without, okay, on the outside as well. Okay, we'll talk about that again in another video. We'll go more in depth with that. But anyway, so you're attracting what it is you need to get yourself to that other thing, that intention, that desire. Now, as things unfold, there's what we call serendipitous things, synchronicities, divine timing that people say luck or coincidence, right? These things start to align to allow us to finally get to where you want to get to. Okay, so in the invisible side, it's working the same way nearly as a cell phone, as a radio, as a television, as Wi-Fi, okay? Or even things like, the sun. A long time ago, you sat outside in the sun, okay? And after a while, your skin would turn red, right? You get sunburned, okay? People didn't know that though. I mean, how did we ever figure out that the sun is actually with ultraviolet light, radiation or energy, and if you sit long enough with whiter skin, right, not darker skin, your skin will start to actually burn, right? Can you imagine, I know we're programmed as a society to already know that, but can you imagine hundreds of years ago, for example? They had probably no idea. I mean, think about it. You're walking around, you're gathering food, you're gathering water, you're building a house or whatever it is, and then by the end of the day, your skin's red. You might think it's because you worked too hard that day. You might think it's because you need more nutrients of some sort, or you didn't drink enough water, right? Because you don't really know where it's coming from, but it was actually the sun the entire time. Another one of those invisible forces that's always working every moment of every day, but sometimes you don't get to see it, you don't get to hear it, you don't get to feel it, taste it, or touch it, or smell it, so you don't really understand. It's what we call a five-sensory person, or what we're dipping into is a multi-sensory person, somebody who knows and can sense that there's something more going on than this physical world we see. Try it yourself, okay? Go ahead and write down a couple of notes. I encourage you to take a little note and say manifestation is almost equivalent to radio, cell phone, all these invisible forces, and keep that by, your business, work, whatever that might be for you. If you have a full-time job, keep it, at a place where you could see it while you're doing your work. Keep it in your car as a note card. A note card always saying, increase my belief. Manifestation is invisible, but so is so many other things, right? Same thing with this light bulb that's carrying the light, right? The electricity is helping this thing harness into light. Another thing that you cannot see, all right? Believe in yourself. Believe in this manifestation process. I want you to gain more traction in your manifestations than ever before. It really comes with more faith and belief in the process to start, more faith and belief in yourself, and things will start to rocket forward. Make sure you subscribe to the channel here. We do so many great videos like this that are so important for your growth, so important for your spiritual development, elevating your consciousness to an entirely new level. And make sure you also get notified. So click the bell icon as well so you get notified. It's very important because every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're putting out videos, and it's great for you to have a routine. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning, you're watching a new video, allowing yourself to be saturated by this content. The more saturated you can be, the more you're actually going to believe in this process, which is a very real part of what we do here, okay? Also throw a like on the video, because when you do, it's going to send out to a lot more people, and together we can raise the betterment of this world. We can increase the world by making sure more people are watching videos like this rather than other videos that really are not for anything, and really disempowering videos. We want more empowerment out there. We want to do better for the world, and the more that you put out good, the more the good's going to come back to you as well. All right, sending peace and blessings over to you. Let me know in the comments what you think about this belief video. What do you think about the invisible forces as well? I always like to see those comments, and then also let me know if you have a question on this, because I'm answering those comments on a daily and weekly basis as well. Try it out. Number one technique here to really get your belief forward. Make sure you're in that, make sure you write down your note cards, and we'll see and watch your progress and transformation in your belief around manifestation.